Hi, Melina here. I am here to film my May wrap-up. I read about 9 books in the month of May. A lot of them are short though, but still, it's good. So anyways, most of them I only have like the picture to show you because I checked them out from the library and they were due, and I already used like recheckouts, or I didn't want to recheck it out just for this or something. So point is, about 5 or so of these I don't have with me. So the first one I read was hang on, let me see if I can make it better. Desmond Tutu, Bishop of Peace by Carol Green. This is just a short kind of children's biography version to get like the basic knowledge of Desmond Tutu. I mainly picked this up and read it because I wanted to know more about him, because I wanted to read this book called The Book of Joy that he co-wrote with the Dalai Lama. So I read it, it was good. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't anything like spectacular or whatever. Then they had this series called Getting to Know the World's Greatest Artists. I don't remember who it's by, but they're both by the same guy. First I picked up the Diego Rivera one. I explained more in my library book haul when I actually picked these up that I was looking for a Frida Kahlo one, and then I seen this one, so I picked it up, but then later my mom found the other one for me, so I got both of them. This one, his artwork is beautiful, and it's like filled with a lot of like his art and stuff, and his main story I basically knew from the movie Frida, but I really liked the art. There was only like literally like half a page, like a paragraph that's talking about Frida, which normally wouldn't bother me, but I'll explain why it did in like a second. But I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. So then next I went and I picked up the Frida Kahlo one, and the thing is, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars simply because I love just relearning her story and looking at her art and like and the photos of her and stuff, because I have a deep love for Frida. But a majority of the actual like text and stuff wasn't even about her. It was about how her husband was a famous painter and stuff like that, and I was like, I already know this. This is to read a book about her kind of thing. But other than that, the only reason I gave it a higher rating was because I would buy this if it was cheap, simply because of the art and the pictures of her. So then, but like, yeah, majority of the book was about Diego, and it's like, okay, I get it if it was spaced out evenly, but it's like, in his, there's barely any mention of her. So, then I reread City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. I own this book, but it's in storage, so I don't have it with me, so here it is. This is my favorite book of all time. Like, it's my favorite series of all time. This is my favorite book from it. If you were asking what my favorite book is, it's this. So, obviously, I just had a lot of fun rereading it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and yeah, it was just so beautiful. Like, there's literally barely anything that I can even just say, like, I didn't like. Like, the whole book would probably be tabbed if I had it with me when I was reading it and stuff. I love it a lot, and yeah, now I can finally move on in the series. The next book I read was Girls in Pants. It's the 3rd book in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series by Anne Brashares, and I loved this book so much. I read the second one about like a month or 2 ago, because I read the first one at the end of last year, and it was like one of my favorite contemporaries after that, and I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, so then I was really excited to pick up the second one. I really didn't like the second one, but I was invested enough in the characters that I wanted to keep going, at least just for another book, because there's 5 books in the series, I believe, and this was everything that I was expecting to get when I picked up the second book. It was just so cute and fun and well written, and I loved like everything that I loved about the characters, and the story kind of returned in the 3rd book, so it's like, we're just going to ignore the second book and pretend it didn't happen. So I'm definitely going to read the last 2 and finish up the series, because this one was great. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, just because there was there was just slight things that bothered me that kept it from being like a full-blown 5 out of 5, but still, it was very close. And then I have 2 more from the library. I have One World, Many Religions, The Ways We Worship by Mary Pope Osborne, who, fun fact, is the woman who wrote the Magic Treehouse series, because I kept thinking that the name sounded familiar, so I looked it up. This is basically a book that gives you the basic introduction to the main largest religions in the world. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Confucianism and Taoism, which I had never heard of before picking up this book. My mom read this before me and she recommended it. She said it was really good. So I gladly picked it up. It was really interesting, it was really cool. It had also a lot of pictures that had to do with the culture of that religion and stuff. So I really enjoyed this, and as somebody who is trying to get more involved in the knowledge and study of Buddhism, I really liked getting into it and learning like all the different religions that branched out from that and stuff like that, so yeah. And then the last book I have from the library, so on the screen, is Buddha by Demi. This is basically the story of Siddhartha, and it's short and it's tiny, so it's a children's book. There's the wind chimes here, I'm sorry. But it has gorgeous illustrations. I love hearing the story. I remember hearing it when I was a kid, the story of like how Buddhism originated and like the story of Siddhartha and stuff. And so now I have I've picked up the official Siddhartha book by Herman, I don't remember the name, but I'm really excited to just kind of get a more in-depth look at the story. But this I loved, and I gave a 4 out of 5 stars, and I also gave a 4 out of 5 stars for the One World, Many Religions. Then I picked up, I had an arc of The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Barr. I am really into any sort of story that focuses on memory loss or amnesia of any kind, whether it's, you know, having to remember stuff every, like, a few hours, like in terms of Flora, or just trying to remember stuff and having one traumatic event that, like, cleared you out. Whatever it is, I am really interested in amnesia-focused books. So I really liked this one. This is the second YA amnesia book I've read. So, I really liked the fresh take on it, and, there was problems that I had with this, sure, but, I don't know, I think that basically, the whole trigger warnings for self-harm and stuff, kind of put me off, and Flora, although I get that she was supposed to have the mentality of a 10-year-old, at times, just how she acted kind of frustrated me. I'm like, you're not acting very smart right now, but I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read this month, I managed to get it at the very end of the month, and it's The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I might do a full review on this, and if you want to see any more in-depth reviews of this that I had to say, I have my Goodreads linked, and it has all reviews for every single book I read in the year, and I really like this one, and I wanted to pick it up before watching the TV show, and long story short, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I highly recommend you pick it up. So yeah. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more of my face and my books, please subscribe. Bye.